Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to yet another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a follow-up about Elon Musk and the Twitter deal, since there has been a pretty major development in that story. If you guys don't remember this story, or you have not heard or didn't know about it when this was, all kind of unfolding back in late April, early May, I made a video about it. I'll link it into the eye icon right in the upper right hand corner, as I usually do. So if you want to watch my video on that topic as well as my opinion on it, that video will be linked in the upper right hand corner of this video. Now I'm just going to assume that some of you have already watched this video before, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a TLDR memory refresher about the whole Twitter deal. So this all started in like early April, late March, when Elon Musk thought about buying Twitter. Many people initially thought that this was a joke when he first tweeted that he will buy Twitter, until he started purchasing a small stake in the company. I don't remember the exact number that he purchased of Twitter. I think it was like around 9 or 10%, between that number. It was somewhere around 8, 9, or maybe even 10% of the Twitter stock. And that made him the largest shareholder of Twitter, which of course, 10% of a big multi-billion-dollar company like Twitter, that's billions of dollars of equity that Musk put into Twitter. So as this news broke around mid-April, exactly on my birthday, and I actually remember this happened exactly on my 21st birthday. Thank you for the unexpected birthday gift as always, Elon. So on April 26, 2022, the man himself officially announced that he will be acquiring Twitter for a whopping $44 billion. And a lot of people were pretty mind blown about this. A lot of people like myself were really excited about this news. Some people were getting really upset about this news. It was a pretty mixed reaction about Elon buying Twitter. Some people thought this was good and that the platform is finally going to be usable, more free speech, less toxicity, things like that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, a lot of leftoids and the legacy media were freaking out about Elon buying Twitter. In fact, the Biden administration, in response to Elon's Twitter purchase, the Biden administration, in response, then creates a short-lived disinformation governance board. Many people have referred to this as the Ministry of Truth, which, if you haven't read the book 1984, which I highly recommend you read it. I think it's one of the most important books you need to read. Thank you to my senior year English teacher for making us read George Orwell for a project. I think reading Animal Farm really opened me up to 1984, and because this was around the time the pandemic was happening and all the lockdowns and shit, couldn't think of a more perfect time. So this Ministry of Truth was created after Musk's acquisition, with Nina Yankovic as its head, and shortly afterwards, this disinformation governance board was shut down and Yankovic stepped down as its head. The Twitter board, a lot of the employees at Twitter were also freaking out over hearing the news about Elon Musk's Twitter deal, and that's where we were at for a better part of a month. Now there's a pretty major development going on with the $44 billion Twitter deal, and that is that Elon Musk, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, is now actively attempting to call off this deal entirely. Now, one of the major reasons as to why Elon decided to cancel the deal more than likely has to do with his role for the company. That's one reason. The other reason is he's probably trying to get a lower asking price. Maybe, he can get 40 a share instead of like 50 a share. Of course, as you can tell, no surprise, Twitter's stock value is currently in free fall. I'll actually put up a screenshot on your screen to show you what Twitter's stock is looking like right now. Not looking too great. Of course, another reason as to why Musk wants to pull out of this Twitter deal is his role and involvement with the company, partially involving Twitter's inability to deal with the overwhelming number of bots that plague the site. Of course, Elon claimed publicly that Twitter refused to acknowledge about their spam problem and has not given him enough evidence to support their denial of the huge amount of bots and spam that plagues their site. I will tell you as a Twitter user that the site does have a bot problem. The site is loaded with spam bots. And just so you know, he already knew this, by the way. He already knew before he entered into this deal that Twitter has a botting problem. He already knew these things. He's an active user on the platform. He understands his own posts are completely full of these bot accounts that look exactly like his, which are just these so-called crypto bros that are spitting out crypto links. If you follow Elon Musk on Twitter, you should already be aware about those because you've seen a lot of these tweets before of accounts that look like him spitting out these links. You know, the ones that say, airdrop, Elon Musk is going to give you double the amount of Bitcoin back as you give him. So quick, click on this link because it's not going to last forever. And then they'll click on this link and it will lead to this nice, shiny, well put together site that looks relatively decent and sketchy at the same time. And then all the boomers will dump some of their crypto in that site in expectation of getting some of theirs back. And of course, it never actually happens. It's a scam and it's a very big problem on the site, I can assure you. And he already knew these things. I mean, he's not stupid. He's already aware about Twitter's bots. Twitter, of course, refuses to acknowledge that to him, and they keep denying it to him. At least that's what Elon is claiming here. And of course, Elon responds to Twitter by saying, if you refuse to, acknowledge this botting problem that is, by the way, affecting your stock at the same time, let's face it, drop the price, make me play a bigger role, acknowledge that you have a bot problem, let me take care of it. If you refuse to go by my terms, I am pulling out of this deal. Now, the bots on Twitter is obviously the tip of the iceberg. To my understanding, I think there are 3 things Elon is concerned about as to why he wants to pull out of this deal. We already went through number 1, which is bots. Number 2 is to get a better deal because Twitter's stock is in free fall. I think Elon revealing Twitter's botting problem did kind of contribute to that. Whatever is going on behind the scenes, Elon clearly knows what he's doing here. I've said this before in my previous video about this topic. Elon is in it for the money. Problems on the site are affecting its stock value, including the bot problem that he revealed. Twitter clearly knows that they are fucked when Elon pulls out of this deal. They know it. That's why they're going as far as trying to sue Elon Musk in hopes that he goes with their deal, goes with what they want, and is forced to buy the company from them. Twitter does realize if they take this to court, Elon will use the bot argument against them. They're going to be forced to acknowledge that the site does have a botting problem. Funnily enough, they actually laughed at the idea of Elon buying Twitter. Oh no, Elon will never buy Twitter. Twitter is not for sale. We don't want to be bought out. We're totally fine. Now, fast forward to Elon potentially pulling out of this deal. Twitter is now like, no, we need you to buy you. Please buy us. We'll even drop the price. Please buy us. If you don't buy us right now, we're going to sue you and we'll take this to court. So they went from not wanting to be bought by Elon Musk to literally forcing Elon Musk, even going as far as trying to sue him just so that they can be bought by him. The man himself is not afraid of Twitter. Twitter are the ones that are terrified. That's why they want to be bought, because they know their stock value is collapsing right now. They know damn well that they're going to lose this argument no matter what the outcome is. I think we're going to see 2 possibilities out of this happening. Scenario number 1, Elon is forced to buy Twitter. He might end up collapsing the site by being forced to buy it, at least for a lower price. A new deal is made, price drop, increased involvement, and this is what Styx mentioned, is that the left, the NPCs will short circuit and they will just rage quit out of oblivion. And they will most likely boycott the site en masse. I don't know if the left would really leave Twitter en masse. Would be entertaining to see them watch them go on Gab, despite the fact that they called it a Nazi platform for all these years. Well, this site might be full of Nazis, but you know what? We'll check this site out because Twitter is going in a very bad direction ever since that evil Nazi apartheid fascist bought it. Hard to predict if that will ever happen. I don't think the left is crazy enough to start going on Gab because Twitter has been acquired by Elon himself. But that's one scenario, if Elon actually is forced to buy Twitter. And scenario number 2, the scenario actually does manage to fall completely flat and Twitter possibly disappears. Those are the 2 possibilities that could happen. I am not saying that one is more likely than the other. I think both of these scenarios are equally as likely to happen. Regardless of whatever outcome happens, Twitter is the loser. Even if Elon is forced to buy Twitter, if this goes into court, Twitter might be forced to acknowledge all the problems that Elon revealed. They still lose in this scenario too. So, regardless of what happens, Twitter loses. I'm pretty sure Elon knows what he's doing right here. And Twitter knows. Again, this is why they're suing him. This is why they are literally forcing him to buy Twitter. The company clearly knows that they're donezo without his help. Honestly, I see it as a sign of dysfunction. They can't acknowledge the problems that they have, especially the botting problem. Elon doesn't want to buy in with the current terms. He probably might ask for a lower price if he's forced to purchase Twitter, as well as more influence and control of the site, or the deal actually does end up falling flat, and the site just ceases to exist. As I said, both of those scenarios are just as likely to happen. Do I think Twitter will survive at some point? Probably. Not ruling that out. But one thing's for sure is that Elon, regardless of the outcome, regardless of what scenario happens, he wins. They lose. So that's just my whole take on this situation. I really want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you think Elon is pulling out of this deal? Do you think the deal is going to fall flat? Do you think the deal actually goes through? Will the man himself ask for a lower price? Do you think the bots alone are the primary reason why he wants to pull out of the deal? Is it his possible lack of involvement? Or not enough involvement? I always end the conversation down to you, so leave all your thoughts about this situation down in the comment section below. Anyway, as always, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below, and if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, links are in the description below, and also in the description, there are 3 other links to other video hosting sites that I use besides YouTube. There's a chance that there is exclusive content found on those sites that don't belong on YouTube for certain reasons. So most of my other content will be on those sites, BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey. Be sure to check them out and follow me there. Anyway, like, subscribe, ring notifications, and until then, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.